Well, hello, y'all. It is Sarah Michael. Welcome. Hi. So, demonstrating how I couldn't get a good connection. I'm not sure why. I ended up switching devices. I was going to do this on my iPad, and for whatever reason, the iPad wasn't getting my very strong home-based, modem signal. So I'm on my phone now. How are you guys? Thank you for having me, Miss Carrie. I am so excited to share with y'all about how showing up in our marketing and especially in our videos, how it's not it's not something you just say and do. It's very, very important. It's critical in my mind, and I'll get into that in a little while. It really, really matters. It is the difference between connecting with just some of the people we're here to help and connecting with a lot, because they can really feel us, and any of the noise kind of falls away. So I do just want to thank Carrie for having me today at the Feature Friday. It was very sweet. I have my notes. One of the things I recommend is having some loose notes, not about being scripted, not about performing, but about showing up with some structure of what I want to share with y'all today and letting myself flow. Well, hello, Alana. Yay, you're here. I finally got a line. Got the internet to work sufficiently for me. So I am Sarah Michael. I am the creator of Project U. Hello, Miss Pam. Sarah Michael, creator of Project U. My company is called Sparkling Results. And I'm just so tickled to get a moment. It's going to be about 20-30 minutes. That's what we planned as part of Carrie's Feature Friday. And I am so excited to be here. So I love how Carrie put it, showing up in our marketing. Hello from Missouri, welcome, yay. That's a nice place to be from, I know. Yeah, showing up in our marketing, showing up in our videos. Here's the thing, and I think this is where a lot of people who are actually making videos, actually doing them for their business, what might not be in their space, they may not be aware of, is that it's as much about who you're being, who you're showing up as. The 70% of communication is nonverbal. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So that's huge impulse of us coming through. That 70% of the body language matters so very, very much. And heading into our fourth Project U, I have seen hundreds of videos and coached people and gave feedback. And I said this the other night, and the thing that I really want to just sink into is, if we're trying to be anything, if we're trying to be confident, if we're trying to be authentic, if we're trying to be vulnerable, if we're trying to be, the badass boss lady in hashtag or whatever, if we're trying to be any of that, we can't really be ourselves. Can y'all see it? We're trying to put on a suit, put on a mask. It's funny, one of the books I have propping up my little camera area is The Masks We Wear. I don't think I've actually ever read it. It was given to me years ago. But yeah, the masks we put on. That is another, that's what people will feel. They'll feel even if they like you, even if they resonate with what you're saying and want what you have, they're going to feel this little bit that's inauthentic because you've put on some mask. You are trying to be something. And it's subtle, y'all. It's an energetic, and it just matters so darn much. And here's one of the things we learned. We feel an impression of you. One of people's main concerns about really just showing up in the world, but especially in video. Sorry about that, an alert came up, but especially in video, is that people will see our flaws, our minuscule little pieces of our physical appearance that we don't like. And time again, tons of evidence, the reflections of people watching the videos in Project U, the reflections back of the person being seen and witnessed, is we don't see the little flaw you're pointing out. What we see is an energetic, we see this impression, this whole you. It actually relates to how we see, like actually process information through our eyeballs and our corneas. Because we don't see in finite detail. We don't see leaves on the tree. We see shapes, we see form, we see mass, we see light and dark. And that's how we show up to other people. So that little sliver, like that is kind of the foundation, is how do you feel about your physicality? How do you feel about being seen and your appearance? If there's any wiggle, any wobble, any little sliver, little tiny sliver, that has you being insecure or doubtful or worried about it, that little part is going to come through. And it's not going to necessarily take you off total course. It's not going to necessarily show up in your bottom line and business revenue, although it affects it. But the thing I think is so insidious about this is you can still do pretty well. Like if you're doing the massive action and you're doing all the right and you're in alignment, you can be pretty wobbly. You can have a lot of stuff going on in your head, even though you're doing pretty well. And where I'm at is imagine how well you could be doing with that stuff gone, with that stuff evaporated. So I'm just looking at my notes. So yeah, I mean, and it comes with the good and the bad. The back of the hand, the front of the hand. They'll feel your confidence. They'll feel your alignment. They'll feel your solidity. It's one of the things I say often. They'll feel your heart too. And they'll also feel the doubts, the worries, the insecurities. And we're going to go into this in a minute. And they're going to feel if you're trying to prove something. Proving something, if you're trying to overcompensate, if you come at this from a space of trying to convince someone of anything, there's even that little sliver of trying to convince is gonna come through, and it's not a conducive feeling for the other person in order for them to take the next step with you, whatever that may be. That it'll be that much harder for them to take that step. So it'll minimize how many people resonate with your message and your voice, and then reach out for more or reach out and to do the next step. And here's part of it. I mean, I'm going to make no mistake that, or I'm going to make no, I'm not going to put this in the shadows, that ever since a couple weeks ago here, at least in the United States, with all of our blip and race and police, and I'm not going to get into that, but what I am going to get into is now, and I think many times in history, but especially now, our voices matter. I think that's what matters more. And this being aware of how much we're bringing energetically, being in alignment, having, getting rid of those layers and peeling back the layers of who we think we should be in order to be doing this, whatever this is, or whatever we have to say, it matters. And when we have this type of alignment, when we are this solid, it helps people hear us, even when we're being divisive, even when we're being opinionated, even when we're sharing strong opinions they may not agree with. And that's what we need in this world. We need the strong opinions. We need your soapbox. One of the exercises we do, it's the second week, carries into the third week a little in Project U, is we do a lot about our soapbox. Get on your soapbox, give that opinion that you're kind of afraid to give. Share. Not really sure how others are going to take it, how it's going to land. We share those. And guess what? It's okay. People are either in complete agreement or they're quiet. What I found is if you're this solid, this aligned, this in your body and in your heart, you really can say any old fool thing. And even if they don't agree, they're just going to pass by. It's like they may see you, but there's no need for them to stop in person or online, comment. A lot of people are afraid of the haters. A lot of people are worried about what other people are going to say, and then it's online, and I know, I mean, I get it. And what I found is no, it doesn't really happen, especially when you're aligned. When you're trying to prove something, someone's going to come back at you trying to prove right back. That's what goes on, and that's what takes it to that not fun place, because you brought that energy. Or if you're bringing not enough confidence, if you seem a little timid or meek in that sliver way, very much an energetic, not exactly, you know, loud and clear, but it's coming through, someone may see an opportunity to kind of like win that, because they can see that lack of complete solidity. So I think one of the things that comes up for us a lot, sorry, I have an itchy nose. Maybe someone's thinking about me, because I really do. I think so much of this stuff comes up when confronted with video, when we're endeavoring to do video or already doing the videos, because we know in our bones that we can't hide anything in video. Can't hide the physical appearance, but guess what? They don't really notice the details, they just notice the impression. So they're probably not going to notice your funny neck or your funny teeth, or what was the other one? Or the wrinkles. So those are the three common themes of what folks are concerned by when we point out in Project U what we don't love about ourselves physically. It's necks, teeth, and wrinkles. So what we know inherently is we can't hide. I remember 4 years ago when I started my business, my first business mentor was like, y'all should do video. This was 4 years ago. Y'all should do video. Like, it's really, really helpful. And I literally had the conscious thought, oh, hell no. I can't hide anything in video. So literally, like, we know it. We get that they're going to feel, I think, even if we can't articulate it or even consciously be aware of it, we know in our bones that they're going to sense our doubts, sense our fears, sense the part where we're proving. We know that that's going to come through on a deep, deep level. So we hold that back, knowing that, you know, less is more if that's where we're coming from. And the other thing that stops people up, especially with live stream, is it's live, y'all. You know, at the beginning of the hour at 10 a.m., I couldn't get a line. I was trying to use my iPad, and maybe that was the problem, because it worked just fine when I switched to my phone. But I had to put a little note, like, I'm trying real hard to get on here. And then I got on here. Stuff like that happens. One time I had the camera like flip off and do this nosedive, and I had to like swoop down, pick it up, you know, take a deep breath. Because that stuff only matters when we get weird about it. Again, if you're solid, if you're connected, if you're in alignment, if you're confident without overcompensating, anything can happen, and your audience, the people watching, will stick with you. I've seen that happen in person, online, all of it. Yeah, unless we get wigged out and goofy about it, they won't. No, no, no. So the areas, I've sort of touched on a couple of the areas, but I want to go more into the three areas that I find we spiritual entrepreneurs, heart-centered entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, speakers, transformational change agents who really want to make a difference in this world in a very large way, we get kind of stumped with video specifically. I think it comes out in video, it's like a crucible, it's like that test lab, you know, little percolating, I'm forgetting the right word, but video brings it all out, and that's why I think it's such a great place to start this inner work, because it's actually inner work that I'm talking about, because it brings up everything it's gonna, you know, if it needs to get worked through in terms of your fears or doubts or proving convincing energy, it'll come to the surface via video. But here's the thing y'all might not realize. All of this I'm about to talk about, all of this I've already talked about, happens just as much in person, if not more, because you're actually like feeling me. A friend of mine calls it like smell and sight. Like we're actually in the same room with each other, even more. So all of this affects what we're doing in video and everything we're doing in our marketing, everything we're doing in our business, and everything we're doing in our life. In that regard, I think it's a really cool thing to focus on in terms of inner work and our own transformation, because it has ramifications, it has tendrils and results and benefits that happen everywhere. It's really an efficient transformation. So those 3 areas, and I started this all to a certain extent with myself, as I know a lot of us do, noticing that in terms of the first thing, it's that physical appearance. My whole thing is that I had to have makeup on, it had to be a certain way, it had to be a certain lighting. I come from somewhat of a media design, video background, like I know how to do this when it takes 5 days, and I kind of got up in my head about having that production quality and stuff. But the big thing that got me going was knowing I wanted to do videos more often than I put on makeup day to day. I don't wear makeup every day. I work from home. I do a lot of my work over the phone. I love it that way. But I knew I needed to do video much more than that. So, as I said a little minute ago, we think folks can see all the little flaws, all the wrinkles, all the funny teeth, all the necks. We had a huge joke going, if you know Nora Ephron's book, I Feel Bad About My Neck. And we're so convinced that everyone's going to see that tiny little detail. And what actually happens, and literally we go through these prompts in the first week that shake out the worries, doubts, insecurities about your appearance, where we're pointing them out. We're saying, this is the thing that I'm worried you're going to see. This is the thing that I hope you do not see. We actually point them out. The whole basis of Project U is focused on basically bringing to light what we don't want you to see, and doing so in a safe container so there's space to work it out, and then we can go to a broader container and not have those things going on as much. So yeah, we're completely convinced, and what happens, and half of Project U's growth, the growth that comes from Project U, is the reflections you see you get from other people. So you point out your wrinkles, you point out your funny teeth, you point out your neck, or whatever else, tummies have happened, stuff like that. You point that out, and the reflection is, oh my goodness, I didn't see that. I saw your beautiful blue eyes. Oh my goodness, I was just listening to what you had to say because it was so interesting. And you're funny, and I like you, and you're whatever. But that's what comes back, and it comes back in such a volume. It's like part of this is high volume that you start to actually believe it. I was at a networking event yesterday, and I would say that, like, you get enough evidence that, like, you actually start to believe it. And that's a huge part of this. The other part of the growth is that you are stretching yourself, showing, and then in the second and third week, saying the things you really don't want to say. I ask you to, a lot of trust comes out of Project U, or going into Project U. You got to trust me, y'all, because I ask you, I take you some really deep places. I ask you to share some really vulnerable stuff in service of your growth. So that appearance one. I know we all wish that our physical appearance didn't have the hook on us that it does, but it does. So let's address it. Let's peel it back. Let's get you to the next level of your own comfort, your own love of yourself. That's what it's really about. But being comfortable in your physical body exactly as it is now, not what you may want it to be, but what it is now. I'm feeling a need to check the time. And one of the things is when it's on live stream, I don't get a clock. So that's the appearance part. The second part is about those opinions, that strong point of view, those perspectives, that soapbox. And this is where the stuff going on in our world right now, we need your soapbox. Like, your passion, your conviction, your energy to change things that started your business comes out in those perspectives, comes out in those point of view. And we need you giving them on a marketing level, on a I don't know you level yet level, on the we've never met, but you're going to hear, receive, be witness to, whatever the media, what I think passionately, not holding back, not bringing just a little bit, but passionately believe. And I don't know how you're going to feel about that. And that's what we need. And so the second week, we share all of that stuff. We get on our soapbox. And yes, we're doing this in a safe container where it's not about debate. It's not about, quibbling over subtexts of words and meaning and stuff. It's about honoring and reflecting back to the person, who they are on the inside. Yes, it's safe, but what gets reflected back is, oh my God, I completely agree. Or, I don't really agree, but I think you said it in such a, reasoned, rational way. I listened to the whole thing. Good job. It's that response. So those perspectives, and we're holding them back in our marketing. The things about your industry, the things about your profession, the things about, that you think might need change on that level, not necessarily the world level, but the things you think we could do better. As entrepreneurs, or as city planners, or whatever industry you're in, whatever that is, if those things, we need to hear them. We need to hear your thoughts. We need to hear from you the things you see need to be changed. Because what I trust is that if you see them and you believe they need to be changed, then they do. Yeah, that desire wouldn't be there. We may not always agree on the solution, but the agreement that there's something that to be solved, there's something to be solved, big and small. And then that third thing, and this relates to your body of work, y'all. This relates to what you're here to help people with, what you're here to solve, what you're here to change, what you're here to guide people through. And that's your expertise, your brilliance, your genius, your unique perspectives, there's that word again, that make your body of work yours. No one else's, yours. And that part, that unique, few other, like 1% of any other practitioners or whatnot have this aspect, this gift, this genius. That 1%, we need to hear about it before I become a client. And I know for me, this business expertise one, holding it back in the marketing level, in that level of, before I know you, was I didn't really feel like I had enough time. Like if I have a half an hour with you, if I have 15 minutes with you, I can go here and you're gonna really get it. Take it or leave it, but you're gonna get it. Doing that in 2 to 3 minutes, doing that even 7 and 8 minutes, I was worried that it wouldn't land, you wouldn't have enough, it would confuse. And I see it time and again in Project U, similar fears where just like I can't go there because it's too broad, or not broad, but it's too big of a topic. It's too much to explore. They need to understand too much. And on the one hand, I think we might be collectively kind of discounting other people, like how much they can get from very, very little. And on the other hand, I think we're also making it too precious. And maybe because it is our really unique sliver of genius, we hold it as precious, and that's okay. But it's also not in service to having the right people hear us at the right time. So in that third week of Project U, you'll be asked to share the stuff you don't want to share in 2 to 3 minutes. You'll be asked to trust yourself. Trust yourself is huge. Trust yourself enough to share what you share in the time you're going to do it, and trust yourself that it's enough for the other person to receive what they can receive from it that day, that minute, exactly then, and nothing else. Trust that it'll be enough. Trust that you are enough. and we get the evidence that, oh my God, I'd never seen it like that. Because here's the thing, that unique, it's totally your own, you and few others can bring this special sauce of genius to the world. You may find it so commonplace, it may be so easy for you, it may be so obvious for you, but it's groundbreaking and absolutely revelatory to other people because they've never thought like that. They've never looked at it like that. So I know we have a couple people here, but if anyone wants to chime in, please do. I'd love to hear from you. And I just want to take a quick look at my notes. I was skipping around. Yeah, I think that is, and honestly, I looked at the time, realizing that I started so late, late, that I didn't really know what time I started. So, there you go. I'll wrap it up here in a second. Looks like there's no questions. Thanks, guys. That's all good. I know sometimes just receiving the information, feeling into it is what it's all about. So, next, I'm going to share a little bit about the specifics of Project U, and what I want to say before I do that is whether or not you join us, what I want you to take away today is an awareness of this nonverbal, an awareness of the doubts, the fears, the worries about our appearance or our strong opinions or our absolute gifts and genius. Those doubts, once you walk, and the proving energy, I really want, being aware if you're trying to convince, if you're feeling like you're having to kind of push your way into a confident space, to be aware that you could be on proving level, you could be in that. Just be aware. This is about awareness. Notice within yourself, I want y'all to have more awareness about this, whether or not you come join us in Project U. Project U will work it out. Project U will get you through. It is fast-tracked growth, 21 days, where really within about the first week, you drop out of your head and into your heart. It happens so fast. Starting with that physical appearance, we do a week really on the physical. We do a week basically on perspectives and point of views. We do a week on the business expertise, the gifts, and the genius. Oh, yay, Cynthia, thank you. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, it's totally energy. And I'm so psyched you're joining. Yay. Thank you for saying that. Glad you're here. Yeah. And what happens, how it works, is you get 21 daily prompts. And it's a degree, a level. Like each day I'm asking you to stretch a little bit more. So it's not like all at once, oh my God, freak out, run away. We start kind of easy, we build up, stretching every day. And there's also 4 weekly calls, kind of beginning, and then a celebratory call and 2 calls. They're Mondays, 4 Mondays. We start August 1st, just so y'all know. And it's an absolute game changer. And I want to tell you, because here's the thing, you will be so much more comfortable on video, knocking off live streams, knocking off video, doing them without a lot of time, not a lot of flop sweat and head space, which is what I had big time. That'll go away. But it's also you're never going to look at the world again in the same way. You're never going to look at yourself again in the same way after Project U. One woman had to go out and buy colorful dresses because her navy and black dresses didn't suit her anymore after Project U. She's also like a live stream pro. But I just could not get over. Like, that is a huge shift in someone's life, to basically not align with the clothes in their wardrobe anymore. So there's a part, it's all very unique, the part that's kind of non-video benefit that shows up, that's whatever you kind of need or where you're at. There'll be an in-person. One woman got a standing ovation at a networking event, at one that she'd been to for years, but she showed up differently, and she got a standing ovation. And for some, it's the reason they join is like they don't want to have to feel like they need to wear makeup. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes they don't want video to take as long. It's taking 6 hours, and they want to knock these off. No big deal. Sometimes they do it because they're not doing video at all. And that's super awesome. This is for all levels. Start where you're at, go to the next level. That's what it's all about. For lots, it's about stepping into more of their full self, getting comfortable showing more and more and more of themselves, and seeing it then benefit their marketing. Marketing is easier, clients come easier, money comes easier. Yeah. And for some, it is about that proving energy, that they know deep down that there's an element to them that's proving, that's trying to convince. And they come to get over it. They come to get enough evidence that what they have to share really does resonate with people, really does matter to people, and let go of the need to prove anything, because it just doesn't work. So I'm looking at my notes. Yeah, so did I say everything? Yeah, I comment on every single post. So, and really, if you're gonna stretch this much, if you're gonna trust me like that, to do these scary things I ask of you every day for 21 days, then I'm gonna watch your video and I'm gonna respond. Other people respond too. It's such a beautiful community, but I will respond. And you also get a 1-hour one-on-one call with me to customize and tailor Project You for you. I'm big into tailoring and customizing, so I want to make sure wherever you're at, beginner, middle, proving, whatever it is, whatever you want for your business, I want to make sure Project You is really the catalyst for that specifically. Oh, I'm trying to think. You see, yeah, you will be comfortable. Project You has been hard. I'm a master marketer, master messenger, words and stuff. Project You has been really tough for me to articulate the benefits, because the benefits are so deep and so inner, and it's so much about the growth. And yes, there's video, and yes, there's this, but the inner stuff is really what is so seismic, is so quantum about the growth of Project You. And the minute you go to those levels, it gets kind of abstract, and I don't like abstract when it comes to marketing. Some of you guys who know me know that I'm the anti-abstract. If it's abstract, it's not going to connect. So it has been kind of a challenge, and yet one that I'm honored and delighted to be able to undertake. And I'm excited for the next round. Again, it starts August 1st. If you want to sign up, I really do believe that this kind of alignment, this kind of power, will be what will change the world. Us having more impact and influence because we're that comfortable with ourselves, that trusting of ourselves, and that aware of ourselves to understand where our fears and doubts and overcompensating may be getting in the way of our voice, our message, our mission. So I wanted to make this super, super easy. The whole program, including the one-on-one call, is $97. You can sign up at, I'm going to give you the tiny URL because it's easier. So it's tinyurl.com/ProjectU8, the number 8. So that's tinyurl.com/PROJECTYOU, the number 8. You can sign up there. Cynthia's already joining us. We've already had some folks join. The communities from the gals and guys from the last segments are already there playing. It's on in our Facebook group, and I have been it's been so much fun sharing this with you guys today in Carrie's special group. I'm so honored to be here. Hope you guys have wonderful rest of your days. If you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, if you want to just chat about it, let me know. I'm happy to. Yeah, that's me. So thanks you guys for being here. Thanks you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I know you're all busy. And whatever you do, keep doing your good work in the world, because we absolutely need it more and more every day. Thanks, guys. Bye.